Hello students, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Khushwant Kaur and I will be your instructor for this video. This video is for B.Ed students on the course Pedagogy of Language, English, and the topic covered in this video is Objectives of English Language Learning. The topics which will be covered in this video are listed as. Let's begin with the topic Learning Objectives. Learning is the process of acquiring new knowledge, understanding, behavior, values, and skills through study, experience, or being taught. Objectives can be defined as a thing aimed at or sought, or we can say a goal. The specific aims of teaching English are number 1 to understand spoken English, number 2 to speak English, number 3 to understand written English, number 4 to write English. In general, objectives are more specific and easier to measure than goals. Objectives are basic tools that underline all planning and strategic activities. A learning objective should describe what students should know or be able to do at the end of the course that they could not do before. Learning objectives should be brief, clear, specific statements of what learners will be able to do at the end of a lesson as a result of the activities, teaching, and learning that has taken place. They are sometimes called learning outcomes. The learning objective or objectives that we use can be based on three areas of learning, that is knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Learning objectives define learning outcomes and focus teaching. They help to clarify, organize, and prioritize learning. They are helpful in evaluating the progress of the learners and encourage them to take responsibility for their learning. A lesson aim is a very general statement of what the overall goal is in a lesson. The lesson objectives are the measurable stages that a learner will go through and need to achieve in order to achieve the overall goal. Aims are like strategy, but objectives are like tactics. The aspect of language. Number 1, semantic, that is related to understanding. Number 2, phonetics, that deals with sound, spelling, pronunciation. Number 3, graphic, that is related to writing. And the last, number 4, phonetic cum graphic, that deals with reading. On the basis of the four aspects of language, the fourfold objectives of language teaching can be drawn. That is, number 1, to hear and understand spoken English. Number 2, to understand what they read in English. Number 3, to speak in English. Number 4, to write in English. So, on the basis of the fourfold objectives, the English teacher tries to develop abilities in the learner. Number 1, ability to understand English. Number 2, ability to read English. Number 3, ability to speak English. 4, ability to write English. When we talk about ability to understand English, it includes the ability to draw meaning from what is heard, ability to respond in action as a reaction to hearing. If we talk about ability to read English, it includes ability to read simple prose, poetry, story, article, and comprehension. Ability to read a simple sentence with understanding, ability to read aloud without losing the sequence of thoughts. If we talk about ability to speak English, it includes ability to pronounce with right intonation and stress, ability to respond to speech as a reaction to hearing. If we talk about ability to write English, it includes ability to spell words correctly, ability to use appropriate vocabulary in the right place, ability to build sentences without grammatical errors, ability to write down passages clearly in an exact language related to the topic. So we see that fourfold objectives are helpful in developing listening, reading, speaking, and writing skills in the learner. Application of taxonomy of educational objectives to English teaching. The approach taxonomy of educational objectives can be adopted to classify the objectives of English teaching. The taxonomical model is developed by B.S. Bloom. In taxonomy of educational objectives, there are three domains: cognitive domain, that is related to knowledge; affective domain, that is related to feeling; psychomotor domain, that is related to doing. Under each domain, many objectives come which are to be realized by teaching and learning. The objectives of cognitive and affective domains are proposed by Bloom, and objectives of psychomotor domain have been proposed by Dewey. Within the cognitive domain, Bloom defines 6 levels of intellectual behavior that are important for learning. We will discuss here the levels of cognitive development and observable verbs which come under the 6 levels of cognitive domain. First level is knowledge, that is related to find or remember information or memorizing information. The observable verbs can be used such as to recognize, to recall, to arrange, to define. In the second level, comprehension, that is related to understand the information and restate in your own words, summarizing and translating. The observable verbs which can be used under this level can be as to describe, to translate, to locate, to explain. Number third level, application or apply, that is related to use information to solve problems, transfer abstract or theoretical ideas to actual situations, identifying connections and relationships and how they apply. The observable verbs under this category can be as to apply, to demonstrate, to illustrate, to interpret. Number fourth level, analyze, that is related to take information, identifying components, determining arrangements, logic and semantics. The observable verbs can be used under this level as to analyze, to calculate, to differentiate, to criticize. Number fifth level, synthesis, that is related to create new ideas or things, combining information to form a unique product requiring of creativity and originality. The observable verbs can be used in this level as to arrange, to collect, to construct, to create. Number sixth level, evaluation, that is related to make judgments about knowledge, to make decisions and supporting views. The observable verbs can be used under this category as to evaluate, to assess, to compare, to choose. In the same manner, in affective and psychomotor domain, the related observable verbs can be used related to each level. Learning objectives of English language at elementary level and secondary level. Objectives of English language at elementary level are language development. Objectives of English language at secondary level are language development and literary development. In the next video, we will discuss about the language development. Learning objectives of English language at elementary level. Primary level is crucial stage for learning. Student learns language very fast in this stage. Objectives of teaching English as second language will be fulfilled only when Indian students of any corner of country should at least know basic skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing, and fundamental grammatical topics according to age group. According to National Curriculum Framework 2005, English does not stand alone. The aim of English teaching is the creation of multilinguals who can enrich all our languages. This has been an abiding national vision. So we can list down the objectives of English language at elementary level. Number 1, acquire the skills of listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking in an integrated manner. Number 2, develop interpersonal communication skills. Number 3, attain basic proficiency like developing ability to express one's thoughts orally and in writing in meaningful way in English language. Number 4, able to interpret or understand instructions and polite forms of expression and respond meaningfully both orally and in writing. Number 5, develops reference skills both printed and electronic mode. Number 6, acquire range of vocabulary, understand increased complexity of sentence structures both in reading and writing. Number 7, able to express in an awareness of social and environmental issues. Number 8, ability to read and interpret critically the text in different contexts, both verbal and in pictorial mode. Learning objectives of English language at secondary level. Number 1, developing the receptive skills as listening and reading skills. Number 2, developing the expressive, productive or creative skills as speaking and writing skills. Number 3, development of a taste for English literature by reading poetry, prose, fiction and story. Number 4, drawing aesthetic pleasure from reading English. Number 5, understanding cues and development of translating ability. Number 6, developing interest in English literature. Number 7, developing the attitude to imbibe ethical, moral, national and cultural values through various forms of literature. Number 8, developing the skills to write an original dialogue, story, one-act play or poem. Number 9, developing the skills to appreciate critically the literary text. We conclude the video with points to remember. In this video, we have discussed about the learning objectives of English language. Learning objectives are brief statements that define the expected goal of a curriculum, course, lesson, or activity in terms of demonstrable skills or knowledge that will be acquired by a learner as a result of instruction. We have discussed about the objectives of English language teaching and learning. Number 1, to hear and understand spoken English. Number 2, to understand what they read in English. Number 3, to speak in English. Number 4, to write in English. 3 domains of educational objectives show the cognitive, psychomotor and affective development of the learner. For cognitive development, 6 levels have been discussed where we have learned about the observable verbs. Objectives at elementary level are related to language development and at secondary level it is related to language development as well as literary development. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel.